A good party is a very important factor in our playthrough of a game called life. But what can we say about the enemies? Yes, those same fucking scumbags that prevent you from playing in your calm, measured style of your gameplay. No matter how positive and kind your character is, you will always have at least some enemies. The goals of your Vruvoi can be Dopviga, fight for a female or male, take away from you the opportunity to earn gold, or just to undermine the competitor in any sphere. And if you think it's just so pad now, it's not. Well, let's go back to our modern gameplay regardless of your spawn point, your social or economic rank. You will always be in a state of competition. Yes, everyone wants world peace and tranquility. But if we look at the entire history of our server called Earth, we see an endless amount of conflicts, and any attempts to get this cherished quiet life fail. Special military operations are proceeding according to schedule, according to plan. And all because, as long as there will be people with their selfish desires to live as best as possible, without knowing the measure, they will protect this desire by all available means. Therefore, one way or another, the participation of your character in the conflict is inevitable. Well, come here, you yourself fuck the dish, and those gamers who with all their might are constantly trying to avoid conflict will lose the constant. Denial of any conflict situations does not speak of you as a maximally kind and non-conflicted gamer. And as in most cases, such people are simply not confident in themselves and their self-assertions, and these people constantly condemn and despise all forms of conflict. But it's really all a masking of their own fear. Being a loser is frightening. What we did. And at the first opportunity, this type of character will immediately side with the victors regardless of their beliefs. These people are just pretentious cowards and conniving instigators. But that doesn't mean you need to get dressed up right now, go outside and punch someone in the face looking for a pointless conflict or a worthy foe. The information in this video will only make sense to adequate people who are of sound mind. You're not an imbecile who goes around poke-a-shat other players for no reason. I am people hustle posy arches pass. So as adequate people, I want to ask to put me a like for Vitos, write a comment and subscribe. This will help a lot in the development of this channel. Thank you all, and we move on. You need to realize that not every conflict is important to you. Not everyone is worth your time, your energy, and resources to engage in. We need to get involved in conflicts when we have no other choice to achieve our goal, and if you can correctly assess these situations and the benefits that winning this conflict will bring you, it will save a lot of your time, nerves, resources that you would have spent on all these pointless proceedings with your enemies that are not even worth your attention, because I am smart, I am doing everything right, and if you can change your attitude towards your enemy from the factor that brings you endless suffering to a kind of springboard that will help you identify your own shortcomings and will be your motivation, your whip that will not let you down, but on the contrary, will set you and the pulse to overcome yourself, and as a litmus test, will show you your own shortcomings, which, in turn, will give you a clear understanding of how to build your pump to become better. So, to be more specific, what is the advantage for our character to have enemies? First and foremost, our enemies give us a sense of purpose in life and illuminate to us the right direction of our development. When you come face to face with your enemy, all your weaknesses and fears come out. It's scary. Very scary. It's only at times like this that you can fully realize your shortcomings. Vividly demonstrate the type of character you really are, but which you so sincerely do not want to be. Enemies surround you in the most unexpected places, and their main goal is to disable your impulse, which is responsible for achieving goals. After all, without it, you will no longer be as dangerous an enemy, and you can simply be bolted on, or they can take control of you. And much of the entertainment industry is built on this, and no, I'm not saying you should give up on games, TV shows, anime, and everything else. It's just that while some are hammering away at their pumping and making these all things their core gameplay, others are oozy pumping and happy that yet another potential competitor is sitting at home and aping themselves to a VDT rating. The presence of all these things doesn't make you some kind of useless character. The main thing is that you should properly allocate your life resources to work and rest. If you're interested in this topic, check out my past video on why we're lazy. You must have the stamina of a samurai to be unwavering and not letting yourself be led around. Finger. The second important factor is that enemies always force you to become more emotionally involved in something. You will simply have to succeed, because if you don't, your VBrug will win. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. That's a good saying. But if you tell me who your enemies are, I'll know immediately what kind of person you are. Because at its core, animosity is just a conflict of interest. And the more you develop standing with Ultra Giga Chad, the more serious and powerful your enemies will be. So you will be joined by more and more people who will want to support you, or just benefit from you, or maybe even destroy you. There will always be people who disagree with you. It's just the way it works, even I. But from YouTube tell you here on my channel different jokes related to life, and even try to joke keyword try. And still, there are people who are directly against all this. Write me angry comments that it is generally carry some nonsense. Yes, in general, it's all not funny, and in general, nothing interesting to come up with. They even call me names in the comments, but actually at that moment I felt that I was doing everything right. After all, if your creativity finds hater, it means that it can find a response in the hearts of people, because not every content can cause at least some response, but hate is already a result, and the more you pump and increase your stats, the more enemies you will have, but do not be afraid of it. Along with this, you will have more and more loyal friends in the party who recognize you and will be ready to support you in your endeavors. And all because you will possess valuable qualities that other players will aspire to. I have gained power that has been transferred. It's just enough for us to hear from someone that this person can be trusted. And so that kind of trust will make you vulnerable to the very people in your pack who are undercover enemies. And most importantly, at times like this, don't start blaming everyone around you. If you happen to be tricked by a friend, it's entirely your responsibility. You played the game and lost, and there is nothing wrong with that. The important thing is to recognize that this guilt is primarily on you. The main thing you need to realize is that you can use your enemies as a springboard for your personal pump-up. But this will only work if you assess the situation objectively and impartially, weighing all the pros and cons, relying on logic and cold calculation. And in case you are driven by vengeful, paranoid state of confrontation with your enemy, you will only get insecurity, making rash actions and loss of important material resources of your time and nerves, that in the end, instead of a surge of motivation and identification, and subsequently correcting the shortcomings of your build, interaction with your enemies will bring you only the destruction of your peace of mind and turn your gameplay bad. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll hear from you again.